Today, we're going to talk about how to use multi-time frame analysis to find the best trading setups. Now, one of the things that I like to do is look at my charts and find the 10 period EMA, 20 period EMA, and 50 period EMA all in alignment. That's your short term trend, intermediate term trend, and long term trend all working together. So, that is how I look at the multi-time frame analysis. But you could look at it at a different level, like monthly charts, weekly charts, daily charts, hourly charts, 5-minute charts, and I think that's where we're going to go today on this particular video. So let's watch this together.
When you know how to align multiple trading timeframes, you can increase your win rate, increase your expected value, and become a profitable trader. It applies to every strategy, every product, and I do this every day with my own trading. I'm Lance Breitstein, 8-figure P&L per year trader with over $100 million in verified profits, wired stock market expert, market wizard, and mentor to the world's top traders. So here's how to align multiple timeframes in your trading, why it's important, and I will also walk you through a few examples of exactly how I do it in my own trading. Then at the end, I have 2 critical tips that ties this concept together for your own practical application. While the concept of aligning multiple timeframes via technical analysis has long existed, the concept was popularized by Brian Shannon's book, Technical Analysis.
Oh, Brian Shannon, huh? Brian Daggum Cease and Desist Shannon, huh? He and I were cool for a while. I have his book right here. In fact, I have that exact book right here. In fact, this book autographed to me from Brian Shannon. Yeah, we're not friends anymore. Mr. I invented only price pays. I went and trademarked only price pays. Nobody can ever say that. In fact, the next thing that I'm going to trademark is bull market and bear market. Come on. Sorry, I have strong opinions about Brian Shannon. I'm very disappointed that Brian Shannon thought he owned the phrase "only price pays." That's exactly saying like stock market or bull market or bear market to me. It's just one of those ubiquitous terms. But you know what? Good on him. Good on him for having trademarked it before anybody else.
Using multiple timeframes. I read this book in college, and sure enough, I later found my mentor to be teaching me utilizing this concept as well when I first started working at Trillium. I want you to think of trading as like fighting a battle. We want to get as many people on our side as possible. We want the day
Skinny buff guy. I kind of love that. Only price matters. I kind of love that.
traders, the swing traders, the hedge funds, all buying after we buy or selling after we short.
A symbol.
The best part is that as nimble, smaller traders, we can often position ourselves first, ahead of that inflow of volume from the larger, less nimble players. So how do we do this? One way is by aligning as many timeframes as possible, because when multiple timeframes agree, when the daily chart is saying this is the level and the intraday is giving you the same trigger, you're stacking the variables in your favor. Here's the thing. Every timeframe has its own group of market participants. Scalpers are watching the 1-minute or 2-minute, intraday momentum traders are watching the 5 and 15-minute. Swing traders are dialed into the daily. Institutional money, they're watching the big picture on the daily chart. So when you're taking a trade that's only valid on the 1-minute chart, you've maybe got the scalpers with you. That's it. But when that setup is happening at a major level from the daily chart, now you've got scalpers watching the quick move, intraday traders recognizing the same inflection, swing traders stepping in at the daily level, and maybe even bigger money starting to build a position. You just went from a solo skirmish to fighting with an army behind you. And what does that mean in trading terms? It means your expected value just went up. Let's unpack that. Expected value, or EV, is the essence of trading. And if you don't know what expected value is, subscribe and watch this video. When your setup aligns across multiple timeframes, your win rate increases because you've got more confirmation and more participants acting in your favor. Your potential reward increases because bigger players create bigger moves. You're no longer trading for a 10-cent scalp. You're catching a multi-dollar move that's being driven by bigger money participants. And your risk, it often stays about the same because your stop is still tucked behind the same key level. You're just now entering a higher quality trade. So if you keep the same risk, but increase both win rate and reward, your expected value doesn't just increase linearly, it increases exponentially. If you've seen me dissect a trade in one of my weekly YouTube live sessions, odds are you see that most times I start with the daily chart context. I am always using that daily chart to give me big picture context of where the stock has come from and what the various market participants might be thinking and feeling. If you look at the best long trades, they often are obvious longs on the intraday chart and the daily chart. If you look at the
Okay, so let's go back here.
long trades, they often are obvious longs on the intraday chart and the daily.
Right, and that's what we're looking for here, right, is getting all of the alignment together, right? But then again, I'm not jumping into 5-minute charts, right? When you can jump into a 5-minute chart and see like literally nothing happening, but you can zoom out to a daily chart, and this is where I'm going to be making money anyway. The thing is that you have to determine, you as a trader have to determine what is information that's useful to you in your trading plan and what is noise. Like for me, right, I'm using those 3 moving averages and that's about it. Right? I'm using outlier, that's about it. I'm not going into, okay, what's happening on the 1 minute chart? Okay, what's happening over here on the 1 hour chart? What's happening with the monthly chart and the weekly chart together to go along with the daily chart, right? All of that to me is extraneous information that I don't need. Is it useful? It can be to somebody, but I don't want you to have to feel like, in fact, we watched another one of his videos not too long ago, how he talked about how you need to be, okay, maybe we got a theme here. You need to be hyper aware of all the news that's going on, and you need to be hyper aware for all of the for all of the movements going on the daily, weekly, monthly, 1 hour, 5 minute, and 1 minute charts, right? I feel like it could be difficult to keep up with all that. You don't have to. You really don't have to. Can it make you more profitable? Potentially could. I'm not going to say that it won't. But also, finding a strategy and a plan that works for you is the most important thing. And for me, this is a lot of extra noise that doesn't work for me, and that's okay.
Daily chart. If you look at the best short trades, the same holds true. There are obvious shorts on the intraday and daily charts. So what does this look like in practice? Let's start off with SMCI on January 19th, 2024. On this day, SMCI gapped up in the pre-market following a promising Q2 guidance update. Positioned just below a significant multi-year resistance level at $355 and all-time highs on the daily time frame, SMCI initially saw a dip but rebounded once it referenced its opening price, turning positive on the day. This scenario presents a convergence of 3 timeframes. A notable news catalyst in a hot sector, drawing attention from institutional investors, hedge funds, and fundamental traders, a breakout on the daily chart to new all-time highs after a prolonged consolidation period, appealing to swing traders and those operating on higher timeframes, and an intraday reversal from red to green, enticing active intraday traders. In this instance, SMCI skyrocketed an impressive 25% in a straight line. The next example is in Ford. Ford mirrors the structure of the SMCI trade, but in reverse. On October 27th, 2023, Ford gapped down following a disappointing earnings announcement. The underwhelming fundamental performance was chiefly attributed to losses in their electric vehicle segment and the burden of a high cost structure in gas engine vehicles. This development drew immediate attention from institutional investors, hedge funds, and traders focused on fundamental analysis. The pre-market activity saw Ford opening below a substantial multi-year support level at $11 on the daily chart, a move that caused
I wanna add context to this, right? Of course the examples he's talking about are cherry picked. Okay. And I don't fault him for that to prove his example, right? But going back to this Tesla example that I like to point out on the regular, right? The same thing can happen 3 times in a row and result in 3 wildly different outcomes. So even though he talked about the SMCI doing the incredible move up, even though he's talking about Ford doing the incredible move down, right? We cannot determine the outcome of any particular instance ahead of time. So of course, I get it. He's trying to use examples to cherry pick and point out his point. But for how many hours does it take to find one of these to come through, right? It could take you 100 hours of watching all the news and watching all the price action across every single candle, across every single news source, or you just have a plan. I don't know.
caught the eye of swing traders and those operating on higher timeframes. Intraday, the stock printed my bouncy ball pattern, adding intrigue for intraday traders seeking short-term opportunities. Once again, we witness a convergence of multiple timeframes aligning in this example for shorting the break of support at $10.20. In this final example, AVGO and other semiconductor stocks experienced a notable gap up, propelled by the earnings report and massive AI guidance from NVIDIA. Unlike NVIDIA, there was no specific fundamental change directly impacting AVGO. On the daily timeframe, AVGO displayed signs of capitulation, evident from the surge in volume and price acceleration beyond the upper Bollinger Band. This dynamic attracted the attention of swing traders and those focusing on higher timeframes. Similarly, on the intraday timeframe, the capitulation was apparent, piquing the interest of intraday traders seeking shorter-term opportunities. If you showed me the daily chart, I'd want to be short. If you showed me the intraday chart as we spike above $900, I'd also want to be short. That alignment across timeframes provides for a higher expected value situation. Now let's get into 2 critical advanced tips. These took me years and years to learn and internalize, paid for by a lot of tuition to the markets. The first is that the lower timeframes are the most important for your trading decisions. If you are an intraday trader, the intraday chart will always be more important than the daily chart. If I had to approximate it for my intraday trades,
Oh, and that makes a ton of sense, right? If you are basing your entry and exit signals on the 1 minute charts only, that is the one that's going to be the most important to you. If you're trading on the daily charts only, that's going to be the chart that's most important to you. You can help build your thesis on smaller time frames and larger time frames, but the time frame you trade on is the most important one, period, full stop.
The intraday chart gets an 80% weighting for my decisions. Even if the daily chart is screaming short, if the stock is steadily grinding on the intraday chart, I will almost never fight that. Similarly, if a chart has a mediocre daily chart but an amazing intraday chart, I will still likely take the trade. That is because the lower time frame wins in importance. It speaks more to the price action in this specific moment in time. My second huge tip that I learned as I expanded my playbook to incorporate swing trading: if you place a trade due to the intraday chart, you often want to be using a stop on the intraday chart. If you place a trade
Well, totally agree, right? In fact, the way that I like to describe it is figure out what works for you and stick with that, right? Can you jump into a 5-minute chart to see what's going on midday? Sure. But just remember that if you are basing your entry and exit criterias on price changes on the daily chart, then anything else does not matter. And truly, it can cause you additional trading errors, right? So, for example, I've seen this happen many times where somebody's at some point in time switched their charts to the 5-minute chart. They are a day trader, not day trader, a daily trader, a swing trader. They come back and they're like, the market's crashed. What's happening? And it's like, oh, wait a minute. I'm actually not on the right chart that I need to be looking at. And then they might have even made trading decisions based on that, right? There's a lot of noise in the market. I would consider focusing on a one time frame and keeping at that one time frame, because then the confusion, the uncertainty, the God, I'm trying to think, the FOMO or the panic selling, all that can go out the window when you focus in on one plan and ignore everything else.
trade due to the daily chart, you often want to be using a stop on the daily chart. In other words, I want my stop and system to be relevant to the time frame I'm placing
Totally, 100%, 1,000%.
the trade on. For example, take this breakout in IonQ above $50 or so. If I get long on the breakout due to that beautiful daily consolidation, my initial stop will be the lows of the daily bar. Then for my simple system, I'm going to use a trailing stop of prior bar lows, which keeps me in the trade until about $71 or so. Notice how I am not giving it some tight intraday stop, because it is a daily chart trade. Trust me, those two lessons alone are worth their weight in gold. I don't know what to make of the fact that lessons don't weigh anything, so that saying doesn't really make sense here, but I do know gold prices have been up a lot. Pros and cons to everything, I guess. Anywho, there's a reason why aligning multiple timeframes has been a popular trading concept for decades. Experienced traders know that our best trades are when all market participants are on our side. If you're serious about trading, consider joining my
Yes, absolutely. When all market participants are on our side is by far the easiest time to trade. I like to say that it's effortless, right? And you figure that out by using OVTLYR, right? You pop into OVTLYR, which is literally 82 cents a day. And you can go into, let's go to NOG. This is one of the trades that I'm in at the time of this recording. It's got all 9 lit up for me here. So I know that the market is moving in my direction, right? And maybe that's how I look at multi-time frame, rather than the monthly, the weekly, the daily, the 5-minute, the 1-minute, right? Maybe my time frame is based on the market structure, right? Because we have a bullish market structure right now. The trend of the market's bullish, the signal is bullish on the market, and the market has positive breadth. On the sector, this is the energy sector, has positive fear and greed, growing fear and greed, and positive breadth, meaning more buy signals than sell signals. And lastly, the stock. It's in a bullish trend. It has a buy signal. It has growing fear and greed, and it has room on the outlier blocks. So therefore, I have 9 of 9 on my outlier 9. So I guess you could put it to, I guess you could put my multi-time frame in that regard, multi-market time frame. In fact, we should probably come up with something for that, right? Instead of multi-time frame, we could do market structure time frame. I don't know, maybe like a sick name wrapped around like outlier 9, something easy to remember. Listen, if you're ready to save time, make money, and start winning less risk, OVTLYR is 82 cents a day. And I want you to click one of these 2 videos. Have a fantastic day. We'll talk soon.